much of the time we're hardly conscious of it.
I have a charter account and a computer. I completely forgot that that song ended off with somebody complaining about the forums. That's the thing about my music is I make it and then I totally forget about it. Just like everything else in my life. I do it and then I instantly forget about it. You know what that's called? Brain defect is what it's called. So anyway, speaking of brain defects, since there's nobody watching, I don't really give a fuck. God damn, my microphone keeps gravitating towards my dick. What we're going to do today, okay, we're not going to play video games. I know this is video game channel. I'm not going to deep throat batteries, but that is, in fact, a very good idea for somebody who has said that 8 million times. I'm not going to deep throat batteries, but we are going to watch something that is informative, okay? Be a site. Oh, thank you, Starlight Decay, for subscribing. You made a poor choice in your life. I would like to tell everybody right now that I'm sleepy as fuck, okay? I was eating Mexican food. I was drinking a lot of margaritas, and as a result, I'm very tired, okay? Right now, I'm thinking of sleeping. But instead, I committed myself to the stream for you people, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm doing this because of money, because that would sound very capitalistic of me, but I am. And so what we're going to do now is going to be really exciting. You guys are going to learn a lot because, you know, I'll be the first to admit, sometimes we have fun and games on this channel, but it's time to be serious, okay? I would like y'all to learn things. I would like to share things with you that are learning and educational in design. And so I've got one of the things today, okay? Now let me ask you guys, just out of thin air, okay? Don't you hate it when somebody does something fucking really bad to you? Let me just ask you that. I'll look at the comments, okay? Saying $20, will you go get a haircut? Yeah, I will. I'll get a fucking haircut for $20, except they cost like $30. So I'll get like 2/3 of my haircut for you. I'm going to say yes. There we go. I deserve bad things. I guess. Okay. So what we have here, and I'm not looking at the rest of the chat. Thank you very much, Spurgear. Asperger, whatever. Asperger for the $10. I really appreciate it. And the comment boogers. I like that. I hate it when your freaking mods ban me for jokes. Okay, well, tell better jokes, motherfucker. Okay, so what we've got here, and I exclusively obtained this by stealing it from somebody else, is we have an exciting, wonderful, educational, and entertainmentful video about how to get revenge. And I just pressed the wrong button. So, you know, fuck that. Let's see if I can go back here. Once again, this is a very professional channel. And the fact that I pushed the wrong button with my thumb is proof itself. Here we go. Okay, so again, I'd like to tell you guys that this is for entertainment only. Okay, so don't actually do this shit. For example, don't be Linda Blair. Video Toasters presents How to Get Revenge! Starring Linda Blair!
I was just reading a few pages from a fascinating book. It is literally filled with countless pieces of wisdom.
It's a dictionary.
One in particular deserves quoting. It reads, "Vengeance is mine." Now that's a powerful quote.
Shoulder pads are mine.
The Bible. That's right, the Bible.
Oh, it's not showing again. There we
Let me
go.
ask you a personal question. At some time in your life, has someone ever made you so angry?
Of course it's just skipping around.
That you considered
Why would it not work?
some form of retribution?
No, it won't work. No matter what I do, it just absolutely does not work. Okay, hold on. We're gonna totally fucking do this shit. You know what? I wonder why my channel isn't popular. It's a really weird thing. It's like other people, you know, they've got really popular channels and they do all this shit. Scooter, wait, that's from days ago. And they know what they're doing, but me, on the other hand, I have no fucking idea. And for some reason, that just doesn't translate into being popular, and I don't know why. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. This is not professional, by the way. I'm very professional. You might think I'm not, but I'm very professional online. Okay, so we got to do this. Do. And we have to do this. Do. Fuck out! And here we go. Hopefully this will work, okay?
Some form of
there you go.
revenge.
Let's start from revenge. Let's start from the beginning.
I was just reading a few pages from a fascinating book. It is literally filled with countless pieces of wisdom.
Is Linda Blair
One
dead?
in particular deserves quoting.
Oh, could find out.
It reads,
Google it.
"Vengeance is mine." Now that's a powerful quote. And from what book am I reading? The Bible.
I don't know.
right.
I'm illiterate.
Now let me ask you a personal question.
Is your dick small?
Sometime in your life, has someone ever made you so angry, so upset, that you considered some form of retribution?
Here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. And some of you may not know this, but I have actually, and this is a 100% true fact, I've never been trolled before in my entire life. Not once. It's because I'm just, you know, I read the People's Almanac, and I read Webster's behind her, and I read the Bible. And between those three books, we have the Holy Trinity. And as you know, 3 equals Jesus, the Holy Trinity. The Webster's, the People's Almanac, and the Bible. And in the middle, you have Jesus, and he's trying to get out, but there's a little electrical lines between everything. It's like, fuck, how do I get out of here? Ah! Fuck, how do I get out of here? Ah! He can't do that. You know why? Turn up the video volume. This is as loud as it fucking gets. I will try to. But I can't. So, hold on. I got an idea. This is just so crazy. It probably, in fact, won't work.
Look at all the buttons.
I know. I've got a fucking lot of buttons. Don't tell me how many buttons I have. Here we go. Let's try this.
Some form of revenge. Of course you have. You wouldn't be human unless you did. Revenge is a natural emotion. The only problem is that we are all raised to consider revenge as being juvenile, immature. Society does not
You know,
condone
I'd like to
such
put a pearl
lewd
necklace on
displays of
Linda
conduct.
Blair.
At least
I really
not
would.
openly. And that is why we are here.
Like a pearl
Hi,
necklace.
I'm Linda Blair. Welcoming you to How to Get Revenge.
I like how she's been talking for like fucking 4 minutes. And also she's looking at the floor. But now she's introducing herself as Linda Blair. She's like, oh, you're here. Sorry, I was reading the Bible. Like any person who stands in front of a fucking globe, a white screen, and a Webster's Dictionary. I was just fucking reading the Bible. I didn't know the cameras are rolling. I'm Linda Blair, star of the movie where I upchuck pea soup. That's me. How to Get Revenge. Linda Blair.
During this program, you are going to become quite literally an expert in the field of revenge. Now, when I talk about revenge, I'm not talking about bodily injury to anybody. I mean, that is definitely not our purpose here. Our aim is to simply inform you.
Our aim is to get back on the Hollywood circuit and start making movies that aren't rape revenge. Linda Blair.
Of the options you have to make that person experience the same humiliation, the same mental anguish that they inflicted on you.
Also, I'd like to point out the fact that she looks like she could play for the Raiders at this point.
You are going to learn dozens of tricks of the trade from some of the top experts in the field, including private investigators.
Okay. She just said the experts in the field of revenge. This is a private investigator. She just said private investigator. He's putting a fucking hose into a mail slot. And this is a private... What the fuck is he investigating privately? If the carpet is wet? What is he doing?
Former police officers and other virtuosos of vindication.
You will also discover invaluable techniques of retribution. Some simple, some more elaborate, but all designed to obtain the goals you desire.
And you will also see and hear fascinating stories from people just like you who were at one time victimized, yet came back to achieve the ultimate revenge.
Let's face it, revenge can be sweet, especially when it's against someone who really deserves it. And I'm sure we all know a few of those, right? Former friends, lovers, business associates, family members. The list is virtually limited.
Pets, clergymen, gay people who have been following you.
We got Freak Show wine. This is the Freak Show.
Get out of here, woman.
No.
Go away.
Okay, fine.
We're watching Revenge.
I can't. Okay.
Heartless. And you know what? We all practice revenge on a daily basis, and we don't even realize it. Example.
Have you ever tried to change lanes on the freeway, but the idiot in the other lane won't let you?
Yeah, you bitch! You ain't changing no lanes! I'm staying the same speed as you! Also, you look like a man with hair from Canada! Come on! Yeah, you!
So what do you do to get even?
Shoot him.
When he tries to merge into your lane, you block him out. Now you've had your revenge.
All right, did you guys get all that? The first lesson in revenge is if you're on the I-5, okay, and somebody in a Jeep is hooting and hollering at you, don't let him merge with you. That's the thing. You want to merge with him, and he wants to merge with you, you're like, fuck all y'all. No merging here, bitch. That's what you say to him under your breath, clearly. And again, don't take this into real life. This is just Linda Blair telling you in an entertainment-wise how to piss off white guys that probably have firearms in their vehicle. Thank you, Linda.
Ever since childhood, we've been practicing some form of revenge. Remember as a kid, ordering a pizza by telephone and having it delivered to another kid's house that you disliked? Sound familiar? Or maybe you remember this classic bit of adolescent revenge. The idea was to fill a paper bag with fresh animal droppings. The fresher...
Animal droppings, again. Like if a bloated tick, if it falls like off your stomach, off a pet's stomach, you put it in a bag, okay? That's called the animal droppings. It's fur, drool, whatever. You put it in a fucking bag, not pie in a bag, but you put this in a bag and you're gonna fucking own some stupid son of a bitch.
The better. Then place it on the victim's doorstep.
Then shoot them with a gun.
Once done, you'd light the bag on fire, knock on the victim's front door.
I remember this from Billy Madison.
Then when the victim arrived,
it's poop again.
The neighborhood grouch, he'd have no choice but to put out the fire.
You stupid!
Meanwhile, you'd run to the victim's back door
stupid son of a bitch.
Pounding on it. This would cause the startled victim to run back through his home.
It's Cliff Clavin.
Soiling his fine shag carpeting with animal droppings. Well, you've made this clean exit.
Oh, hold on. I gotta see that again. I gotta see the victory pose by this stupid little motherfucker. God damn you fucking... Okay, here we go.
Well,
there we go. There we go. There we go. That, my friends, that, ladies and gentlemen, and others, is the sign of victory when you have put shit in a bag, lit it on fire, knew that somebody's shag carpeting was going down the drain. Hi again.
Hi, I'm coming back.
Okay.
you've made your clean exit. Fasten your seatbelts. For now, it's time for us to explore the more serious forms of revenge.
Okay, so this was all fun and play. You know, cutting some dude off in traffic. Fun. Lighting shit on fire. And then knocking on the back door. Fun. But now we're going to start getting into the real shit here, you know. This is the real, this is the hardcore deal, okay? If you guys aren't up for this, then you can pussy the fuck out. Leave this stream, because this is actually about getting hard-ass revenge on people. Not fucking around anymore. I just hit my pop filter. Not fucking around anymore. No more animal droppings on fire. No more shag carpets being defaced. We're talking hardcore revenge. I hope you're ready. I hope you brought your adult pants, because here it comes.
We've assembled several of the top professionals in the field of revenge to guide us through this endeavor. First off, we're going to meet private investigator Mark Lewis.
He was inside my white piece of paper.
Mr. Lewis has aided hundreds of victims in getting even and is considered a master in automobile retribution.
Okay, Okay, hold on a second here. There's an actual degree in automobile retribution. and this guy's the master. Like, you got people coming up to him saying, like, you know, listen, my kid failed 5th grade. What should I do? And they're like, fuck, you know, automobile retribution. Like, who should I call? And they're like, the fucking, the guy with the premature hairline and the sunglasses who's fucking around with some dude's tire. And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna hire that motherfucker to get automotive revenge. Hell yeah!
Next up is investigator Kyle Pappenfuss, who will give us pointers on how to cause havoc with a Mark's home.
Okay. I hate to keep stopping this, but we have a private investigator. Thank you very much, Mary Rock. We have a private investigator who just threw clothing out of the refrigerator. So he's privately he's publicly investigating private parts in the refrigerator is what he's doing. And also, there is Parmesan cheese in there in case if you lose your fucking underwear, but you gain Parmesan cheese. Win-win.
We'll also hear from a presently active police detective who we'll refer to as JM. He will enlighten us with his vast knowledge of seeking revenge by mail.
Police officer seeking revenge by mail. I think police officers pretty much have enough mail seeking revenge on their force, but I guess they will teach us.
And then there's Officer PF, another presently active
He's
police
ugly as
officer
fuck.
who will show us the many ways your telephone can cause tremendous damage to your enemy. But first, let's begin with private investigator Quinn Vickers. Mr. Vickers specializes in getting even with former friends and lovers. Mr. Vickers, could you give us an example of what could be done to a former friend or lover?
Shoot him in the fucking face.
Example,
The end.
son. Okay, let's talk about friends. I had this client whose best friend came to him and talked him into investing in a real estate scam. $10,000 talk.
Wait. If you look on the bottom right, he's got a crumbled milk carton. He's got a crumbled soda can to the left, and on the right, he's got like a crumbled Jewish milk carton to his right. So, like, what's with this dude's rage? He's like, I specialize in fucking revenge. Also, I hate you, milk carton. I hate you, Shasta drink.
Client that he'd get a 75% return on his money within 3 months. And being that they were good friends, well,
Bitcoin.
my client didn't think that his friend would screw him.
Bitcoin.
Well, he sure did.
Bitcoin.
And the worst thing that happened was that when he found out that his so-called friend had made approximately $3,500
Nose
on
candy.
the deal. And that's when my client first came to me.
Bitcoin.
What did you have him immediately do?
I like how she's pretending to interact with a pre-recorded video. That makes it really professional. It doesn't make it look like Linda Blair is just looking at a fake wood-paneled wall with a piece of paper over it. It looks like she's actually talking to a gigantic alcoholic man who's staring in the wrong direction. And that's what adds to the realism of revenge.
Immediately. Nothing. Not a damn thing. You see, the secret with revenge is patience. Patience. If he were to act right away, his so-called friend would have caught on. And he would have called the authorities or done something in return to my client. And that would have meant he won again, and my client loses again.
So what you gotta do is you gotta wait at least 2 months before you shoot him in the fucking face with a shotgun. I'm fat, and these are my tips.
So you wait. In this case, I waited
The
a couple
camera.
of months. Then I hit him on several levels. First of all, I took a death certificate, whited out the former information, filled in his name there, and along with a letter stating that I was his wife, I sent the death certificate and the letter off to the Bureau of Internal Revenue and the Social Security Office.
So this man is openly admitting that he faked somebody else's death certificate and he sent it to the IRS. You would think that's a crime. You would think that he has served jail time. But I think Linda Blair broke him out when her head started spinning. Like, well, why do you want to get this man out of prison? Her head started spinning. She was like, suck my cock, Satan. Satan sucks cocks. Devil, devil. And then I was like, okay, let's just pull the guy out already.
Next year comes tax time. He's screwed with the Internal Revenue. Down the road a ways, when he wants to change jobs, he's screwed again. And way down the road, when he finally wants to collect, no Social Security benefit.
And then when he dies, since he already has a death certificate, he's living. And so he has to pay the taxes again. Because he's been dead, but now he's undead. And the undead get taxed even twice as much as the regular dead or living.
Hit him in the pocketbook, eh?
Better yet, hit him while he's down. After all, my client wasn't the heavy here. He was just trying to even up the score. Next, I made appointments for this punk with several professionals, doctors, lawyers, dentists, you name it.
I told them all he's got small ball syndrome.
So when he doesn't show up, he's got a lot of pissed off professionals. Not only that, several of them, as you may well know, will bill him for not showing up.
Ouch. I'd sure hate to be him.
Yeah, so would I. But remember what the Bible says.
His milk's gone.
Remember, this guy did my client in. Okay, then I finally topped off the whole escapade.
I fucked his wife.
His marriage.
Oh.
This took a little work, but it was worth it. For several evenings, I waited outside of his home and watched to see if he'd leave home at night and at what time. Eventually he did, and I noted on what day and what time.
Stop doing the crossword puzzle.
And made note of that time.
You're drunk, Grandpa.
Once I had proof of one of his evening treks away from home, I purchased an inexpensive woman's shoe from a local store.
He just fucking, he licked his hand. Whoa, wait. I gotta go back and see that again because I might be wrong here. But if I am in fact correct, he licked his fingers before touching a woman's shoe and putting it in a box. I need to see this again.
I then waited until he returned and made note of that time. Once I had proof of one of his evening treks away from home.
Yeah. He kissed his fingers and touched a woman's shoe. So that's how to get revenge on the enemies that you hate so much. You go to the store, you get a woman's shoe, put it in a box. I don't know how that's revenge, but that's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it.
It's a woman's shoe from a local store.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's a small box. Then, using the letterhead of a local hotel, which is free, available in most hotel lobbies or rooms, I typed a letter saying the following.
Oh, Gene Roddenberry, you're up to it again.
In there. When the two of you were here on the evening of, and I put the date the man left home, your wife forgot her shoe.
While you were fucking, a shoe flew out of your wife and landed on the terrace.
Thank you. The management of, and I typed in the hotel's name. Anyhow, to make a long story short, the upshot and the downshot is that his wife finally files for divorce. He has to sell the home, the cars, the stocks, everything. I guess you could say my client finally came out on top.
Boy, I'd have to agree.
You weren't even fucking listening. There's no goddamn speakers. You're talking to the fucking wall, Linda Blair. How can you agree with the fucking wall? He said the shoe. The guy said the shoe. He had wrapping paper. He didn't even say to use the wrapping paper. Why would a hotel send you a shoe with wrapping paper? Also, Linda Blair can't hear shit because she got the devil inside of her. She's got a sucking cock. Go on, Linda.
Imagine that, breaking up a marriage to the U.S. mail. Amazing. But what's even more amazing is the many other ways that you can use the post office in a vengeful manner. And to give us a few examples of Detective J.
I am stroking my
Detective,
pen.
Could you give us some examples of revenge by mail?
No.
Revenge by mail is only limited by the person's imagination. For the most part, the examples I'm about to give are ones I've learned while on the job, although I must admit a couple of them are my own creations. But let's get to it. One of my favorite pranks is very simple, but very effective. It can be a real pain in the butt. What you do is go down to your local post office, get a change of address form, fill in the victim's name and address, and the new address. It can be anywhere your heart desires, from around the block to around the world. And if he also receives gifts or valuable items in the mail,
Yes.
I suggest making
Not
the local
gifs.
Salvation Army as the new address, or any other place which might benefit from such items. Another way to create havoc and also make your victims shell out money is to look through magazines and catalogs. There are a lot of expensive items in there that can be bought now and paid for later. So order as many expensive items as you can.
Now, the really fun thing, at least I take away from this guy, is that by watching this video that was shot in the early 80s, I'm pretty sure he's dead. And that's what I take away from this video, is that this man currently is dead. The man who would order magazines to your house and send your mail to Goodwill. Wait, if he's sending your mail to Goodwill and he's ordering magazines, then Goodwill's getting screwed. I don't understand. This is a very smart man. I can't keep up with this, really.
And mail it to your victim's address. Another thing to do is to join these Book of the Month clubs, Record of the Month clubs, or whatever of the month clubs. Ever try to get off one of those lists?
He was talking about getting off.
Can you imagine being in 10 of those lists?
I'd like to play a little game with you, if that's all right.
Again, Linda Blair communicating with the wall.
I'll give you a situation, and then I'd like you to respond with a method of mail revenge that you would recommend.
Okay, shoot.
Stop mail revenging me.
Let's say that Mark is a family man. You know, a wife, 2 kids, a dog. What can you do to disrupt the entire family as opposed to just the Mark?
Put them on offensive mailing lists. Pornographic mailing lists, such as pornographic magazines, pornographic merchandise. Put them on the Communist Party's mailing list.
So, again, okay, he's got the sleepy drunk eyes just like me. Again, the most offensive things that you can be associated with is pornography and communism. Those are 2 major things. Nothing else is offensive but pornography and communism.
There are hundreds of mailing lists you can put them on. What husband wants his kids looking at this stuff? And, for that matter, what husband wants his wife thinking that he subscribes to these lists?
Ed Garth, thank you very much.
Another thing you can do is send your Mark's wife a pretty box of chocolates. And a note saying how much he loves her and all like that. It's one of my favorites.
I'm confused. How can sending a box of chocolates and a nice note to the Mark's wife get him in trouble?
You stupid bitch.
Did I forget to mention mixing chocolate laxatives in with the candy?
So okay. So it's, like, the plan for revenge from this master revenger is to send a guy's wife chocolates that make her shit. Okay? That's the master plan. So, I mean, technically that would be kind of, it would fall under poisoning or tampering, but she has to poop a lot. And that's where the fun begins. Watching a man's wife shit. That's also where the fun ends.
I guess you did. Well, that ought to flesh out the situation. Okay.
Flush.
How about if your Mark is a businessman?
Send the sexually perverted magazines right to his office. Can you imagine the looks he'll get when he gets his stuff right on the job? These bizarre toys and sexually perverted magazines?
Sexually perverted magazines and communist magazines. Why don't you just go to his office and say, hey, I'm from Airborne Express and I have a dildo for Dr. Steve Smith, and just keep shouting that even though you're not in a doctor's office, but you're getting revenge on the guy, and then just like, and by the way, his wife is a stupid whore, and then you'd like own him on 2 levels.
Should be quite a thrill. By the way, there are dozens upon dozens of homosexual and bisexual magazines available today.
Okay, here's where we get to the 80s. Homosexual and bisexual magazines are the worst type of magazines that you can get. They're up there with communism. Okay? So, like, here's your fucking dildo that you're gonna shove up your ass, doctor. Also, here's your bisexual and communist magazines. Hope you enjoy your perversion.
I found if you mail these to the Mark's place of work, you can start rumors or quickly get him fired. And if you can get a...
Starting rumors of homosexuality, that's the way to destroy people in the 80s. All right.
photo of the Mark, it's even better. Send that to a gay magazine along with the requisite money and place an ad for a gay lover.
There we go. There we go. If you want to get revenge on somebody, place an ad in a gay magazine saying that they're looking for a gay lover. That's right there. You know how cleanliness is next to godliness? Like homosexuality, right next to communismality. There you go. Because the worst thing in the world is that you could be homosexual. But it's like in the 80s, if you were homosexual, Ronald Reagan would make your dick explode right there. Right there and then. Your cock would totally explode if it turned out that you were a homosexual or a communist. If you're a communist, then your ass would explode too. But I'm not talking about with laxatives. I'm talking about with technology. Ronald Reagan will make your dick and ass explode. There's nothing worse than being a homosexual or a communist. Let's go.
Then when the copy comes out with his picture and the ad in it, send that to his boss, his wife, or his girlfriend.
Fascinating. Well, how about if you have a bone to pick with your neighbor?
Try this. Get some printed invitations made up announcing a Sunday afternoon brunch to your neighbors.
The invitation, by the way, just said an invitation.
Announcing the date, the time, the directions, the whole enchilada. The fancier the invitation, the better. Mail it to his people at work, all the neighbors. Then sit back and watch the hassles begin.
Again, this is a police officer, I'd like to point out. Police officer in the 80s telling how to get the perfect revenge is by labeling somebody a homosexual. That's the way to destroy a person, is by labeling them a homosexual. There's nothing worse than being a homosexual except a homosexual communist. Again, Ronald Reagan will make your dick and balls and ass explode at the same time if you fit those following criteria. Linda Blair, 1980, whatever the fuck.
Not that I want to know, but how can you ruin someone's marriage or love relationship?
Fuck their wife!
Here's what I learned years ago. If the Mark is a man, just type a letter up saying, "Dear Deborah, my name is," and put the Mark's name there. I saw your ad in Swingers Bazaar this last week, and I'm hot to trot.
I would like to take a moment here to point out the fact that a member of the police force just said the phrase "hot to trot." That's all.
Anxious to get it on. But you can't reach me by phone because I'm married. But you can reach me at the address on the envelope, but mark it personal so my wife doesn't see it. Put that letter in an envelope marked Deborah Lawson, care of Bizarre Swingers ad, box 1268A, Charleville, Arizona. Of course, there is no such address, so the post office will return to the Mark's home. And sooner or later, the Mark's girlfriend or wife is bound to discover it. And then the fireworks begin.
And when I say fireworks, I mean someone's getting murdered, and that's the perfect revenge. Then we come in and shoot the family's dog.
What else can you send in the mail that will irritate your victim?
Things
Bees.
that smell. I mean, things that really stink. I mean, animal droppings, human droppings.
Okay, so this is the third form. No, this is the second out of 3 forms of revenge that involves poop. Basically, all good revenge revolves around shit. So it's just like, you know, if you want to get revenge, cover yourself with shit, just run to the guy's house and say, "That man's a homosexual communist. Ronald Reagan's gonna make his dick explode." That's what you do. You cover yourself with shit. You cover the guy's wife with shit. You cover the communist homosexuals with shit. You run around in circles and mail shit to addresses that don't exist, and it comes back and there's more shit. There's shit fucking everywhere. And Ronald Reagan makes your dick explode. Go on, sir.
Overripened fruit and vegetables, fish. Imagine what a week-old fish smells like. It smells like Boston in the summertime.
Well, Detective, thank you very much.
I met my wife vagina in the year-round
How do I
time.
get paid for this?
Oh, don't worry. The check's in the mail. Now if we join... Investigator Quinn Vickers, who has a visitor with an interesting story that many of us can relate to.
Oh, it came out of the book.
You know, it's a common fact of life that there are those people out there, a small number, but nonetheless they're out there, those who feel that they have to stress their superiority over others. Some do it at their work with fellow workers, some do it at sports, on the athletic fields, some do it in their love life. Yet there are just a few who feel a great need to stress their superiority over decent, honest, basic human beings, such as my client, Mr. Harold Sherman.
Whoa, okay. This, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he deserves whatever he got. Besides the bull haircut. He decides it all. He gets it all. I mean, he's got a fucking TI-81 in his pocket. This guy, I mean, he's got glasses the size of billboards. Also, the man's milk carton disappeared, which disturbs me greatly.
Let you pick it up from here.
Well, the incident took place on Thursday afternoon during my lunch break. I was eating at the little diner across the street from the library.
Is that comedy?
Everything was perfectly normal. It was then that I first noticed him.
This is comical, by the way.
At first, I didn't pay much attention to him, being more interested in my meal. However, it soon became evident that he was a troublemaker.
Hey, I see a good place to sit. Come on.
On his face with my dick and balls.
Yo, buddy. Mind if we eat here?
Well, actually, yes, but there are other tables available.
I know that, Wimp, but I want to eat at this one because I want to watch my truck. You understand?
If you give me a moment, I'm just about finished.
Oh, just about finished, huh? Well, I can't wait. Besides, it looks to me like your order's to go.
I was terrified. I had no choice but to leave.
Wait, where'd it go? I was terrified. He poured fried rice on my dick. Only I'm used to that.
I was so humiliated. This kind of thing happened to me many times in the past. And I wanted to get even with
Wait. So if he's so humiliated and this kind of thing happened to him many times in the past, he should like build some sort of like, thank you, Mary Buck, by the way. He should build some sort of tolerance to having fried rice chucked on his dick. You would think that this man would have like built up like some sort of resilience to guys with shirtless or sleeveless shirts pouring fried rice on his dick so they can watch his truck. But that's just me.
man. I looked upon him as being all the people who have hurt me rolled into one. And that's when I contacted Mr. Vickers.
Well, when Harold first came to me, he didn't know what to do. All he had was the punk's license number, but that was enough for me. I went down to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and I filled out a form.
And then I shot his wife.
Stating that, you know, I had a small accident with this guy, and I was just checking to verify his address. Within a couple of days, I had the punk's address. Now, Harold here was adamant about getting even with him himself, so we laid out a battle plan. Harold, you take over, buddy.
With pleasure.
I covered myself with shit, and then I hugged him while mailing him shit. And also I made him eat shit, and shit fell out of the sky, and my name was shit. Human feces.
Once I had the man's name and address, I decided to start off with what the man apparently wanted. Food. So from a payphone across the street from the man's apartment, I called about 15 takeout restaurants and had them send him all types of food. And I had them spaced out so that they would arrive about every 15 minutes.
So you're annoying people and wasting their money at his expense.
Convenience store chain. Now with that in mind, I planted a toy handgun under the truck's seat.
Well, oh, okay. We just went from fucking around to really fucking serious. So he placed a bunch of fake orders of food to the dude's house, and then we get to planting fake handguns in his truck, which will make him get murdered. I know murder is a great revenge. I know covering yourself with dog feces is also a great revenge, but I think planting weapons in a man's automobile, especially in the LA area, is probably a little bit beyond the scope of revenge, especially since all he did was pour fried rice on his dick, which he was clearly used to for years and years and years.
And I threw in a city map with the locations of the convenience stores circled in red and a few newspaper clippings about the robberies. Then I went to a telephone and phoned the police and stated anonymously that I had seen where the robber lived and that I had seen his gun in his truck. To make a long story short,
the police kicked in his door, shot his dog, shot his wife, and shot him. And then they also kicked in the door to the next door neighbors because they got the wrong address, shot their dog, and shot both of them.
Police arrived just as the man was getting into his truck. When the police saw the gun, the map, and the newspaper clippings, well, let's just say that the man had a lot of explaining to do down at the station.
No. The man doesn't have a lot of explaining to do. You fucking with a gigantic ass neck and the nerdy bowl cut has something explaining to do. The dude poured fried rice on your dick and you're planting a fucking gun in his fucking car that can result in the police kicking in his door and shooting his dog and everybody else. Or another address. Who fucking knows? I mean, that's the ultimate revenge, getting innocent people murdered because you got fried rice on your dick and you're too stupid to use a fork or chopsticks the right way. You stupid big neck son of a bitch.
Now.
Confident. Of course I don't go causing trouble for other people, but at least I know I have the confidence in myself to know I can get even with anyone.
Confidence.
Back in the
Quality
bookcase.
we all desire, yet surprisingly few of us possess. However, most of us do possess one of these, a telephone. And it so happens that this is the revenge seeker's greatest ally.
You beat them to death with it.
And here to enlighten us on this subject is Officer P.F., whose looks we have electronically altered to protect his
Oh, it's one of those electronically altered ones, digital. No more analog, face distortion. We got digital electronic face distortion. That's not actually what he looks like. He's clearly much uglier. But they enhanced him using digital effects. I don't know if y'all can grasp your primitive minds around this, but they moved from analog. Analog's dead. It's warmer. I listen to everything on vinyl, but this dude, look at his fucking face. That's not vinyl. That's digital effects, bitch. Get ready for it. This is the 1980s.
I'm going to be demonstrating several methods of phone reprisal.
Thank you, Scooter Parsons.
Phone.
Crack revenge.
Some of the techniques that I'm going to talk about can be done in your home, but some of them are going to require the use of a payphone. And I'll explain that as we go along.
Okay.
Now, first of all,
yes.
if the prank you're going to pull requires you to talk to the mark yourself on the phone, and the mark recognizes your voice, then I suggest that you use a handkerchief placed over the mouthpiece.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have a handkerchief. Wait, I'll use this blanket. I would get up, but I'm somewhat nude beneath a shirt, okay? So if somebody doesn't recognize your voice, okay, I'm gonna do this. See if you guys can recognize me, okay? Here we go. Gotta get ready here. All right. This is me talking my normal voice, I'm a jackass. I'd like to get other people killed by planting fake weapons in their car. Okay, now get ready. See, this is a completely person.
My goodness, I certainly hate to be the victim of red.
But I'm talking like this. The cloth changes everything. Listen, I'm talking completely normally.
But now I'm talking like this. It's all because of cloth, baby. None of you will understand.
Could any of you figure out that that was me? Probably not. Because I'm a master of disguise. I got a fucking cloth. I'm going to put that down so y'all know it actually was me. Thank you, Cancel the Ham. Revenge is good. The 80s.
Phone. Now, I know that you've seen this in millions of movies and TV shows, but the fact remains that it works. Now, before we get even with that certain low life in your life, let me just ask you a little question.
Are you gay?
What is the most valuable possession that a human being has?
A lamp. Definitely a lamp.
You give up?
No.
The answer is time.
Fuck! Fuck! I guessed a fucking lamp! But the answer was time! I was humiliated on live stream! You motherfucking digitally electronic distorted bitch!
Time is precious. Don't
lamp is precious!
Wastes your time.
Vase.
And time is money, too. So, when you get a mark to waste his time, you're getting him in more ways than just one. Now, I've found this particular routine to be very effective.
What you do is you take the phone and you put animal droppings on it. Then you talk into the phone and animal droppings coming out of your mouth. Then you become animal droppings and you fax yourself to them if faxes were, in fact, invented back there. Thank you, Sir Brent Candy, Tim Kopp on the horn. And then your phone turns into feces. Animal droppings, as it were.
When the mark is married or living with their lover. Now, if the mark is a man, you get like my friend Monica here to help you out. Now, if the mark is a woman, obviously you're going to do just the opposite. Now, let's assume that the mark's name is Bill. Now, when Bill leaves home, you get your female friend to call up his home phone number, and when his mate answers, you get her to say something like this.
Oh, hi. Is Bill, never mind.
Then you have her.
Then his wife will murder him because she's an irrational bitch who's afraid of big-toothed, grinning, somewhat digitally distorted women from the 80s who love to dress like mafia wives.
Hang up the phone. And this will definitely sow seeds of suspicion into Bill's relationship. And if you follow up with a late-night phone call, hanging up without speaking when the mate answers the phone, well, then you'll really foul things up a lot. If your mark happens to be in a business where he meets
bad acne
in various locations, then don't disappoint him. Using a fictitious name, set up meetings at various locations around the city, in restaurants and bars,
gay clubs,
hotels.
Gay clubs.
And then by the time
Communist
he's traveled around town and he realizes that he's been burned, he's wasted lots of time and money. Monica, why don't you tell everyone what happened to you recently and exactly what you did about it.
Okay. I was working as a temp in this office, and I was only supposed to be there for a couple of days. And immediately I had trouble with this nasty trimp of a secretary who had been with the company for 20 years. Well, she told me I wasn't even competent.
She was 24 years old.
She complained about everything I did. Well, after 2 days of this, I had had it with her. So I phoned her boss. And when he answered the phone, I told him I was with a rival company and that his secretary recently applied for work with us. And then I continued on and asked him questions about his...
Why do they cut to the guy with a digitally distorted face for a reaction shot? Maybe it's just me, but if you're looking for a reaction shot, you have to shoot a man that can have a reaction. That isn't giant fucking pixels. But I don't know about TV shows and revenge, so what the fuck?
His secretary, if she was good, had good work habits, etc. Anyway, to make a long story short, the boss, feeling betrayed, fired the woman. And guess who took her place?
Janet. No. Stephanie. No. Susan. No. Hold on. I can do this. I got this one. Karen. No. It wasn't Karen. Ginger. Jennifer. Jennifer. Blurry face man. Linda Blair is my guess. Linda Blair.
Don't you just love happy endings?
Tell me the answer! Tell me the fucking answer! How can you leave me hanging? How do I know if the revenge worked? This is why I hate the 80s. This man is why I fucking hate Ronald Reagan destroying my dick and my balls and my ass with explosive devices just because I'm a homosexual communist.
Now, a while ago, I mentioned that sometimes you need to use a payphone. Now, there can be several reasons for this. For instance, say that you placed a revengeful ad in the newspaper. Most newspapers will require you to leave a phone number so they can call back and verify that you're not just a crank caller. In much the same way that a restaurant that makes deliveries will require you to leave a home phone number so they can check and make sure that the order is legitimate. Now, one thing that you must never, I repeat, never, ever do is leave your actual home phone number.
That's good. From an actual police officer, his advice is, don't you ever, when you're committing a crime, tell the person your actual address. Always lie. That's the advice from a police officer. Always fucking lie. Maybe plant a gun in his car. We will shoot his dog. And that's really good revenge. Really good revenge. But guess who got the job? Susan? Maybe they'll tell us at the end.
This could lead to a lot of trouble. Now, here is one where you will definitely need to use a payphone. Call your Mark's spouse or lover and tell them that you are the spouse of one of your Mark's co-workers. And say that you have proof that your mates are having an affair. Tell them that you hired...
Whoa. Okay. Stop here. I like the fact that the phone booth is designated with not only a picture of a phone, but the word phone written on it. So if you thought you were going to a booth that has magnets, you know you're going to magnetize something? No, it's fucking Pahoney. You got to go make a Pahoney call. You go to the Pahoney booth. The magnet booth right down the road. You're in the wrong place, you bucktooth bitch.
A private eye who has shown you photos that made you cry. And if the mate doesn't believe you, you say,
well, if you don't believe me, here's my home number. Give me a call.
Then
and then she asks, why do I hear the sound of traffic in your home? And you're like, well, you know, I live on a highway. It's cheap.
Give her the payphone's number and hang up. And when they call back, add a few more sordid details about the affair.
Wait by the phone for several days.
An emotional quiver in your voice when you do this will just add to the realism. Now, let's toss it back to our host in the studio, who will give you a rundown of my 5 favorite phone gags.
Number 1. Call plenty of salesmen for an in-home sales pitch or demonstration.
Oh, hi, salesman.
Number 2. Start or cancel services to Mark's home, such as the gardener, pool man, cable TV service, etc.
Who the fuck has a gardener or pool man?
Order food from restaurants that deliver and send to Mark's home. Number 4. If you know any of your Mark's reservations in advance, call to cancel them. And number 5. Call charitable organizations and donate goods in the Mark's name. This will cause much embarrassment when they arrive at the Mark's home.
Make the people who collect things for poor people and disadvantaged people make them get really excited that they're going to pick up a lot of stuff, and then ruin their fucking day. I mean, what? They got nothing better to do than to go chasing free fucking vases or whatever. You know? Just waste their fucking time. They keep on calling up the charities and giving them random numbers. Because that's what people who work at charitable foundations want to do. You know, they want to be running around like a fucking idiot, chasing things that don't exist. Mark Plague. Thank you. Sorry, Mark.
Interesting thoughts, to say the least. Now let's rejoin investigator Quinn Vickers, who is joined by a young lady with a fascinating story.
Wherever there's love and romance, there's also pain and deceit.
He's addressing himself in his marriage.
Approximately 75% of my clients come to me with problems in their love life. Belinda here was one of them. Belinda, why don't you tell them about it?
Well, a couple of years ago, I was going to college to become a nurse.
Look at that fucking desk. Hold on, I'm going to pause it here. Look at that fucking desk here. My desk is messy, but this man has been fucking karate chopping the middle of cans. He's got, like, again, more cigarette butts than Gene Roddenberry here. He's got like a fucking Rolodex that I guarantee you is empty. And he's just got papers here. He's avoiding looking at her because her hair is about to become a separate entity, much like in the movie The Thing.
And I did not think of myself as very attractive, was not very popular. And I met this guy at a pep rally. His name was Frank. And we went out, had a good time, and he asked me to go to a game. And later found out that he was the head cheese on the football team.
So she's talking about an event that clearly happened 60, 70 years ago, and she's still pissed off about it.
As they put it. So anyways, we went out, we had a good time, had a great time.
Were you happy together?
Yeah, we were very happy together. In fact, we were so happy, I was hoping that he was going to ask me to marry him. And then Victoria came along.
Let me explain that Victoria was a very popular, attractive girl. She was...
As opposed to the woman to my left, who is a fucking just audaciously disgusting whore that no one could possibly love. But I brought her in as a client because she reminded me of a female version of myself.
Also the head cheerleader.
I guess she just became attracted to Frank. She started hanging around with us a lot, and I really didn't know what was going on. And she became quite flirtatious. And then I got really hurt. I found out that she was sleeping with Frank. And then I got angry.
Oh.
Really angry.
Shoot him.
And that's when I called Mr. Vickers.
I make it a point never to get personally involved with my clients, but, well, Belinda here reminded me so much of my daughter that I just had to get involved.
I told you!
Well, Belinda told me she didn't want to hurt Frank. She felt he was just being victimized by Victoria. So we planned our attack directly at Victoria. The revenge was aimed at her. First thing we found out was that Victoria had dated several...
Look at her staring into the camera, by the way.
...guys around campus. An awful lot of them were on the athletic teams on the university. So then I had Belinda set up an appointment at the free clinic for an examination.
Well, this was great.
I told the clinic her vagina was broken and full of gnats.
Because not only did I get a free pelvic, but I also got a free examination. And while I was there, I got a letterhead from the free clinic. At which point, I brought it back to Mr. Vickers, and he told me what to do.
I had Belinda find out the names of the various athletes on the, well, as a matter of fact, all the athletes on all the sports teams around the university. Then on free clinic stationery, I had her write a letter to each of them. The letter stated that Victoria had been to the free clinic and had tested positive for syphilis. And that each of them...
So, fucking with other people's entire lives and possibly ruining them is the ultimate form of revenge against one person. Just like, just take the white pages. Call every single fucking person in that book. Tell them that Victoria slept with them. She's got syphilis. They got ball cancer, wherever the fuck. Chlamydia, not just only a flower anymore, but they got like, they got disgusting dick disease or whatever. Everybody has syphilis. Everybody in the phone book has syphilis. Victoria, fuck you.
Were sexual partners in this little peccadillo.
So, on Friday, I sent all of the letters to the athletic department at the college. And on Monday, well, whoa.
I was arrested.
Say, the athletic department would have nothing to do with Victoria. None of the students would have nothing to do with Victoria. No one would touch her. No one would talk to her.
She hung herself. She fucking killed herself. I got the ultimate revenge because she slept with my boyfriend. I thought I was ugly, but I was just ugly on the inside.
She was treated like she had the plague, which pleased me to no end.
So tell them what ultimately happened.
Well, after 2 weeks of humiliation, she transferred to another junior college and again became the head cheerleader. And she had her jollies for a while until I again sent the same humiliating letter to the athletic department, at which point there was no more Victoria. And I...
Whoa! She did kill herself. And he's laughing. He's like, that dumb bitch got what she deserved. Fucking syphilis. She fucked over 45 million men. And now she's dead in the graveyard where she belongs. Fuck you, have syphilis, and die. God bless.
I have no one but Mr. Vickers to thank.
Oh, no, you have syphilis.
Well, stories like that certainly make my day, as do the talents of our next guest.
No.
His name is Mark Lewis. His occupation, private detective. His specialty, car revenge.
Now, probably the simplest way to aggravate your Mark
is to fuck his car.
His tires. Oh. And the simplest thing to do here would be to unscrew the valve cap.
Yeah.
And let the air out.
Okay.
Now, the best thing to do would be all 4 tires.
Yeah.
But if you don't have enough time, make sure you do the front tires.
Okay.
That way it's hard to steer and your Mark can't drive off that easily.
Sure.
Now, a lot of people recommend putting glass or nails under the tires. But believe me, for the best results, let the air out yourself. Now, one thing that every car needs is gas. And this car is no exception.
I like... The one and doing $10 will be illegal to cause someone to commit suicide. No, it's perfect revenge, man. It's not illegal. So, most cars need gas, okay? Fortunately, this man was positioned near a car that does, in fact, need gasoline. So, just so we're on the same page, most cars need gas. This car is one of them. Hope you can keep up.
Now, if the situation warrants it, and you need to damage the engine, the best way of doing that is adding some things to the fuel. Like baking flour, sugar, regular granulated sugar, or glue, epoxy.
Yeah.
Now, this will certainly damage the engine, cost a lot of money, cost their mark a lot of time, and it will certainly drive your mark crazy.
You can also hit him with the steel pipe.
An easy, efficient way of providing their marks with a massive headache. Well, I have just the thing.
A knife.
A locking gas cap. Now, you can buy this gas cap in any auto parts store, a couple of dollars. What you do here is remove the unlocking gas cap and replace it with the locking gas cap. You just screw it on here, turn it, take the key. That's the important thing here. You have to take the key. Then when your
you can't leave the key in. Okay, here's the thing. You take their gas cap off. Gotcha. Then you put in the locked gas cap. Gotcha. Don't leave the key in. That is the crucial part. Most people, you know, amateurs and whatnot, they leave the key in. And then when the person comes to their car, they actually stand by and they're like, hey, you know, I replaced your gas cap with a much expensive locking gas cap. I left the keys in there for you. Also, sorry about the glue. And the guy will be like, you didn't get revenge on me. And the guy's like, I want to get revenge on you. And there's the other guy's like, thanks for the key, sucker. And the other guy's like, he just completely deflates. That's the end of him.
He can't get his gas cap off. Provides a massive headache. Come with me.
Yes, I will.
Okay, here's one that dozens of clients have tried, and it really works. Take a can of black spray paint, spray the headlights. That way your mark will not be able to drive at night until he has them replaced. Now, did I mention what you can do with a license plate? You can remove it and hide it. Or better yet, replace it with an out-of-state plate. Now, while we're down here, way in the back is the exhaust pipe. What you can do with that is take a potato.
Wait. That's the back of the car? While we're down here, while we're back here?
Or some other solid object, stuff it into the exhaust pipe, and the engine won't start. Do that at night, and your mark will be late for work.
Now, wait. So this is the back of the car that has the emblem on it and the windshield, the front windshield, and the grill. That's the back of the car is also nature's front of the car. I gotcha. Thank you.
Now, if you're fortunate to get under the hood, there are
in the back
things we can do here. Okay, let's start over here. This is where you put the windshield washer fluid.
Okay, just piss in there. Okay, now there's a hole here. You fuck that.
What happens then,
now you marry this part.
Washers, oil goes all over the windshield, which attracts a lot of dirt and a lot of dust. All right, the next thing here we'll deal with is cooling system. The idea is to put substances in there that expand with water.
Semen.
Baking flour.
Semen.
Pancake batter.
Semen.
Or even paper mache.
Semen.
Now you can also put sand in here.
Semen.
Sand does not expand with water, but it'll certainly do the job.
Semen.
Now, speaking of sand, this is where you put the engine oil.
Just fucking hit the guy who drives the car with a fucking pipe.
Now, last little tip here, the distributor coil. Take one of these coils off, put chewing gum up into the coil, put it back on.
Semen.
Now that will cause the car to bolt.
Semen.
To possibly even stall. The
Fuck the
great thing
car.
here, though, is
Semen.
when the mark takes the car to the gas station to his mechanic to try to get it fixed,
he'll see the
it's
semen.
almost impossible to find out what's wrong with it.
Semen.
Now, you do not have to be a mechanic to do all these things.
You have to fuck
just
it.
have to be a little mad. Happy motoring.
Aren't you glad he's not your mechanic?
He fucked the car, but we cut it out.
Now, let's check back with investigator Quinn Vickers, who has a few more tantalizing ideas to tease your vengeful mind.
Here's a few miscellaneous ideas you might try out on your marks. Sending a letter is a beautiful trick, and it works so simply. All you need is a plain piece of paper, and you cut out the letters from magazine or newspapers, right? You gotta say, "Dear so-and-so," the mark's name, "I know what you're up to." Now, if he's like most people, he's got something he's doing that he shouldn't be doing, and he's gonna feel guilty, and he's gonna wonder who knows about it.
Wait. Okay. If he's like most people, he's guilty of something. You know, like most people, everybody's covering up something, and you get a letter saying, I know what you're up to. You're just like, holy shit, he knows somebody knows I cheated at miniature golf. Dear God, I didn't actually putt the ball inside the alligator's mouth. I just kind of threw it there. Who knows about this?
And even if he hasn't done anything recently, you're going to drive him up the wall wondering why anybody would send something like this to him. Now, if your Mark is a member of the minority, you might turn him over to the Immigration Service.
That's a good idea. For once, this guy's on point. Very good idea.
This is going to cause him hours and hours of endless paperwork trying to prove he's a citizen of this country.
Or she.
Listen to what one of my clients did.
I've been having some problems with my next-door neighbor. I loaned her some money, and you know, she just refused to pay me back.
It was a quarter.
I was getting a little irritated, and a friend of mine told me to call, Mr. Vickers, and I did, and he was very nice. And what he told me to do was call the Internal Revenue Service and tell them that she had a business on the side and was making money, and she hadn't been reporting her income. So what they did was, when I called up, I told them that I was a concerned citizen, and what I found out a little later on was they called her in for an audit, and they decided to go back 5 years and try to find out what happened to this money. And from what I gathered, she's been making weekly trips down there, and I would imagine it's been a little bit of an inconvenience for her, but whatever. And I would think that she's probably there right now.
You bitch. You bitch. Just I loaned you $2.50. $2.50. I never got it back. I called the IRS on you. I said your microphone had moved because you hit it. I called the IRS on you, and now she's fucked for the rest of her life because she didn't give me my $2.50 back. And let me look at my watch. Oh, it's probably fuck o'clock for her. Ha 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 ha. True revenge. Ha 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 ha. You bitch.
Always keep in mind that a newspaper is a great source for getting even.
That's my advice to you guys. A newspaper is always a great source for getting even with the newspaper, I guess.
One of my clients placed an ad in the Mark's name, advertising that he was going to have a big moving sale. Everything in the house going for 1/5 of its cost. And needless to say, he picked a time, a weekend, when he knew the Mark would be home relaxing, right? The guy was inundated by bargain seekers, ruined his weekend, ruined his life. Another cute trick is to place an ad saying that you are the sucker and you have $50,000 that you're open to any and all investment possibilities. And of course, you include the Mark's phone number.
So hold on. This is like the Craigslist scam, except it's a ye olde newspaper scam. What you do is you place an ad in the classified of your local newspaper, and you say, I'll give $100,000 to anybody who can fucking kill me. And then you put the Mark's address and name on there. And then on the weekend, people come in and they just beat the fucking shit out of them. People shoot them. They're looking for money from the Mark. And he's dead as fucking shit. You've got your revenge. They don't have money, so they're pissed off and they're pissing on the corpse or pooping because it's all about animal droppings. And you got your revenge. That was already number 1, but it's also number 3.
Well, needless to say, the phone will be ringing off the hook with all the cuckoo birds out there who have the great investment possibility. You want to make your Mark real paranoid? Listen to what another one of my clients did.
My former boss fired me for no damn reason whatsoever.
Sir, I hate to break it to you, but there might be a reason. If you're doing the whole revenge tactic, you probably have a few reasons why you're fired, sir.
So I put his name on the obituary column in the newspaper. And making sure that he received it, I mailed it to him with a note saying, someone out there is watching you. Then I put an ad in one of those gay magazines.
Again! There we go! The revenge in the 80s was being homosexual. Nothing just as bad as being a fucking fag. Nothing worse than that. Nothing worse. There's communism and there's homosexuality. The two worst things in the 80s. And being dead, too. A dead communist. Well, no. I guess Ronald Reagan wanted dead communist homosexuals, but whatever.
And put his name and number. And that worked in several levels. First, it affected his marriage. Then every time that phone rang, I can just see how paranoid he really was. Just jumping out of his seat. Then just think of the cost of him having to change the phone number and contact all his friends. This guy really deserved it. I enjoyed it.
And that's why I got fired from Arby's and how I got my revenge. Meanwhile, Grandpa checking out the newspaper for the obituary, seeing if he's dead.
You know, a newspaper is a great source for revenge. Be inventive. Check it out. You're going to come up with dozens of ideas of your own.
For your health.
You know, Mr. Vickers is right. You don't have to be an expert to create some wonderful revenge techniques. We've been receiving dozens of letters from people just like you, detailing some...
Wait. They haven't aired this show before. Why are they getting fucking dozens of letters? Are they... I saw your homosexual ad in the homosexual communist magazine. I would really like to fuck you, Linda Blair. I, too, am a homosexual communist. Ronald Reagan made my balls explode. Look for me in the obituary. Sincerely, you, Linda Blair.
Delicious bits of revenge.
Whoa.
A woman from Fort Worth, Texas writes in telling us how she got even with a former friend who owned a popular vending machine.
We won't say the name of what the vending machine actually sold. We'll leave it up to your imagination. It was something that rhymes with Coke, but started with a C.
She stuffed cotton way up into the change return slot. This had a twofold effect. One, it upset
she just fingered
customers because the machine wouldn't return their change. And two, when the woman returned a few days later and pulled out the cotton, she hit the jackpot.
Whoa!
A man from Tempe, Arizona wrote in saying that his favorite prank is to phone his mark from a payphone, preferably during the day. Then once his mark answers the phone, the man simply leaves the payphone's receiver hanging off the hook, effectively tying up his mark's phone line for hours until the phone company can reconnect his service.
And then he called... And then he put an obituary for his mark with his name saying he died a gay homosexual. Ronald Reagan made his dick explode.
Keep those cards and letters coming in, folks. Question. Name the location where the average person feels most secure.
Florida. No. The White House. No. Hold on. The magical underwater city of Rapture. I don't know, Linda Blair. Tell me.
Most comfortable. Answer, their home.
Oh.
Naturally. After all, a person's home is their castle, right? The only problem is that none of us have a moat to protect us.
What about a castle, you dumb bitch?
Meet private investigator Kyle Pappenfuss.
Look. Okay, Kyle, what we need you to do here is you need to strike a pose outside of this weird rectangular garage, okay? We need you to look confident and self-secure while you tell people how to shove animal droppings through the phone into their house. Kyle, please. Okay, we're going to start shooting now, Kyle.
What one can do to a Mark's home.
All right. First things first. The mailbox. Easy pickings.
Whoa, that mailbox is pissed off. It looks like a character of Chinese people, and it's pissed off with a mustache.
Mailbox, and everybody reaches for their mail.
Why
Who
is it
says
in the
you can't
tree?
put more than mail in there, huh? How about some pancake batter, motor oil, Jell-O, pudding? Anything can go in there. Just close your eyes and think of something nasty you wouldn't want in there.
He didn't mention animal droppings. Everybody ignore this motherfucker. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. You put animal shit in the mailbox. That's what you do. Not pancake batter. No one walks around with pancake batter. Everybody walks around with animal droppings. I mean, I do, but I assume you do too.
Get the picture? Practically every homeowner takes pride in a really beautiful lawn. It's considered part of the pride of ownership of a house. Of course, to me, it's just a gigantic opportunity. You see, a little weed killer in a bottle like this can work wonders on a lawn. See, it not only kills the weeds, it kills the grass. So you can spray this over and make all kinds of designs on somebody's lawn. As a matter of fact, you could even spell out obscene words. In a couple of weeks, when the grass dies, wham! You'll have trouble with the neighbors for the next month.
He's not going to tell us the obscene words, though. He's just going to say, like, you know, you can put the most disgusting words on there. Homosexual, communist, dick exploder. But you have to get, like, a lot of weed killer for that. You have to get, like, the concentrated kind that you water down. You've got that big old thing and just spray it. And, like, the guy in the house comes out. He's like, what the fuck you been doing, you know? You've been out here spraying my lawn for fucking, 3 hours. And it's just like, oh, nothing. You homosexual communist. And he's like, what are you talking about? My dick has exploded. You're like, go back in your dumb house. You don't have a fucking moat. Linda Blair told me. Bitch.
Okay, we're at the front door. If you're really looking for a way to tick off your newfound friend, how about the doorknob, the keyhole? Some nice epoxy glue right in there. This is going to cost them not only aggravation, but money, too. And another nice thing about the front door, most front doors have a mail slot.
No, they don't.
And you know where mail slots go?
Okay, he has a mailbox and a mail slot. So, like, the mailman, he like, walks up in the driveway. He's like, oh, mailbox. So, no, fuck a mail slot. Oh, a mail slot. A mail. What the fuck do I do? I'm just a fucking mail-delivering homosexual communist. And then he blows his brains out and is just like, collateral damage for a prank. It's worth it.
The living room, that's right. Now, you only do this if you really want to get back at your newfound friend here. Because a lot of times they put hoses right next to the front door.
They really
you know
don't.
What you can do with that hose?
You know they don't.
Right into the mail slot, right there. You turn it on, you split the scene, Captain Happy comes home, and he can paddle his way to the telephone.
Captain Happy.
Now, while we're at the front door here, what better way to get to your mark than by leaving a message on that very same door? Say he's got somebody working for him, like a gardener, a pool man, a bottled water guy. You can leave a message for them on there. Like for the pool guy, for instance. Say, drain.
Right, I know that says, fuck me, up the ass, because I'm gay.
Or better yet, for the gardener, those expensive hedges. Pull them out. Put in pumpkins or palm trees. Or you can get that bottled water guy. Leave a message from the mark saying, hey, stop making nice with my wife. I know what you're doing. I'm on to you. Hey, there's thousands of things you can do with messages. Be creative. Have fun with it. Now, if he has a pool and you can get access to it without anybody seeing you, whew, what a gallon of cooking oil wouldn't do for that pool, especially the filtration system. Hey, and when the swimmers
And if his
come
kids
out,
are swimming on it,
beautiful,
pour it
glowing
on the
slime
kids.
all over them.
Put acid on the kids.
Now, if your special someone happens to have an air conditioning unit like this, buy yourself a nice little jar of salmon eggs like this. You can get it at any sporting goods store. Open it up.
Wait, what?
Oh, dump it in the main filter unit, and in a couple of minutes, they're going to think they're living in Newark.
I, too, go to this sporting goods store for salmon eggs.
Looks like Captain Happy's problems go back a few generations, huh? Well, if you get inside a house like this...
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on a second here. Okay. We've identified the mark as Captain Happy. Now this man has broken into his home and he's criticizing the man's family, I guess, his ancestors. Captain Happy's old harpy, like grandma behind this guy's shoulder is staring right at him, just saying like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And this other guy, he's looking at the camera with more dignity than the so-called Captain Happy Prankster. He's like, I'm going to put salmon eggs in this guy's air conditioner. And the guy behind him's like, what the fuck's an air conditioner? If you did that with me, I'd just fucking shoot you in the head. And then Grandma's just like, no, dear. No.
Here's a couple more things you can do that are fun. Firstly, the thermostat. This is a heat thermostat. You want to turn it all the way up on high, especially on a nice hot day.
Wow.
And then you take some glue out, and you pop it right in there so it stays on high. A couple of hours, they're going to have that sauna they've always dreamed of.
Then you fuck it and leave the semen there.
The kitchen is a limitless source of retribution. One of the neat little things I like to do is switch the labels on the canned goods.
And then ejaculate in them.
Carrots, onions, with other kinds of canned goods. Things like menudo, corned beef hash.
Menudo? Did he say menudo? Is that a menudo? Okay. Okay, I'm also wondering why there's a yellow sticker on their phone, but this kind of revenge is a little bit more, how do I say it? Time intensive than just, shoving sperm into the guy's mailbox. You're gonna fucking put menudo on his chunky chicken noodle soup. Here's your fucking menudo.
Imagine the surprise when you open up what you think is a can of salmon and there's nothing but dog food in there. What do you think? Now, when most people open the refrigerator, they expect to find food inside. What if you got there ahead of your mark?
What? When most people open up the refrigerator, they expect to find food inside. I can't argue with that. What you want to do is fuck the refrigerator and instead of food, leave semen everywhere for your health.
And say put some dirty laundry in there, huh? How about that? Look
How
at
about
this.
that?
Quite an impressive little fruit salad, huh?
Fuck you, laundry.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, it probably belonged to the pool man, huh?
Yeah, fuck you, shoes.
Wait a minute, what do we got here? Ooh, little breeding room in there, don't you think? Well, if that doesn't gross them out, you could probably think of 1,000 other things that will. All inside the
I could probably think of a million things better than that, but okay.
Finally, here's what my father taught me. Now, if the house has a dishwasher and
you bend over and receive.
You just open it up, and you get all the good dishes, and you jam them inside, and then you get a packet of dye, just like this, and you stuff it inside.
Why does Dad teach him that?
And their whitest china is going to look like a Rorschach test. Well, that's it for now, kids. Just remember, trashing your enemies can be a lot of fun.
Just remember, I'm probably dead now.
And now to wrap things up, let's pay one last visit to our experts as they tell us their favorite act of revenge.
My sister's husband one day just finally decides to leave. Takes off to the Bahamas with some other chick.
So I fucked him up the ass!
Then he sends her a letter about 3 weeks later saying he wants a divorce, but he needs money. He tells her to sell their 1986 Porsche. She can keep half as long as she sends him the other half. So she puts an ad in the paper. Brand new 1986 Porsche for sale, $10. The phone rang off the hook. First guy that comes along, she sells it to him.
And fucked up the ass!
For $10. She keeps 5 and mails her husband the other $5.
And I fucked him up the ass!
But the topper is, she starts dating the guy that she sold the car to. Ends up marrying him. She gets a new husband.
She got fucked up the ass?
And gets to keep the Porsche.
You know, my favorite act of revenge is really the oldest one in the books.
Why is the mosaic around his face so fucking huge? Does he have like an afro we can't see?
I love it because of the payoff. All you have to do is call your mark as many times as possible during the day or the
and then fuck him up the ass.
Evening. And every time you call, you ask for Peter or whatever name comes to mind. After 4 or 5 times, the mark is going to be a little irritated.
And then he gets fucked up the ass!
After a dozen times, he's going to be pissed off. And after a couple of dozen times, he's going to be violent. Now, you stop calling it about...
Who gets violent after Who gets violent after phone calls? Just fucking take the phone off the hook, bitch. Come on.
10 o'clock at night. You wait until about 2 or 3 in the morning, and then you call him up again and you say, "Hi there, this is Peter. You had any phone calls for me today?"
My kids hate me.
But it's still my favorite gag.
Yeah. Fuck him up the ass!
My wife. Look, let me tell you my favorite revenge story.
Oh, God.
A friend of mine, a construction worker, just went through an ugly divorce. His wife and he argued constantly over who was going to get the convertible. Well, he lost. And of course, his ex-wife kept rubbing it into him. So I suggested that one...
Got a question here. We have a grown man sitting behind automobiles with his legs crossed, holding a potato, wearing sunglasses, and talking to an unseen entity. Well, I guess that's L.A. Never mind.
One night, he'd get a cement truck, which we did. We went over to the house, and there was the car parked in the front with the top down. So what did he do? You pour the cement into the car, right up to the top. I guess you could say that their relationship was cemented. But a little too late.
You know, this may not seem like anything extraordinary, but I like it because it works so smoothly. I like checking the mark's mail. I take out the bills every day. I do this for a couple of months. Even the ones, and especially the ones that are overdue and last notice. The funny part is the mark won't even notice this is happening until the utility companies turn off his telephone, his gas, his electric, etc. And he'll have a lot of fun listening to those bill collectors pounding down the deadbeat's door.
What? The director... Pardon me. I was just playing chess with nobody. The incorrect way. The pawn moves to left 1.
I had a buddy once who got evicted from a house he was renting. What buddy? It was me. Yeah, and I wanted to get back at this landlord. I wanted to get back bad.
Because you're a stupid asshole.
I thought I'd pull something off real sweet. So I decided to sell his house.
And cover it with semen.
Really simple. All I did was call a real estate agent. Real estate agent comes down to the house. We sign the papers. I tell them, hey, sell it for half of what it's worth. I want to sell now. They make the deal. By that time, I'm out the door. I don't want to talk about what the final result was, but I wonder what happened to that down payment.
Whee.
So there you have it. I truly hope that you have enjoyed this edition of How to Get Revenge. It has been our pleasure to inform you of the options you have if and when you should find them necessary. It is also our hope that you will never actually have to use any of these methods. Excuse me. Hello?
Yeah, is this Linda Blair?
Yes?
Yeah, Linda, my name is Rick. Listen.
And your career is dead.
I saw some smoke coming from your house.
Oh my gosh! Oh, well, thank you for calling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I have to go. I hope you had fun. Bye!
By the way, her house actually covered by animal droppings. Well, needless to say, Linda Blair's house was on fire. And if anybody was wondering why Linda Blair did not have a really successful career after she threw up on a priest and told him to suck cock, this might be somewhat of a little indication pointing towards that, but I could be wrong. I mean, that may be revenge. I don't know. But I would like to thank all of you. I'm really sleepy, so this is just going to be the end of it. But I'd like to thank you all for learning about revenge. And once again, this is our 1000th episode. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our 1000s, we did it. We finally made it. 1000 episodes. 1000 big. Yeah, it's 10:11, and I'm tired as shit. But Linda Blair, everybody, Linda Blair. If you ever wonder where her career went, somebody got revenge on her. Probably the priest. He was like, "Dear Linda, I don't suck cocks in hell." But she's like, you know, her head's spinning because she thinks her house is on fire. She thinks her dog is covered with semen and animal droppings. But the only thing covered with animal droppings in reality